Jack was a cold-blooded, ruthless killing machine. Every time he massacred his enemies, he couldn't help but think of his family. Why was it that every cyborg seemed doomed to become a mindless weapon of war? Jack once had a happy and peaceful family, a life filled with love and joy. But the general had invited him to participate in his cyborg experiment. Jack felt completely unqualified for such a transformation, and he longed to leave quickly and return to his work. As he was about to bid the general farewell and leave, the general orchestrated a car accident. This left Jack critically injured and fighting for his life. After undergoing a series of harsh modifications in the lab, Jack was transformed into a merciless killing machine. However, on the battlefield, Jack did not live up to the general's expectations. He was not invincible as the general had hoped. He still needed the help of his teammates. One teammate repeatedly warned Jack to watch his back, but Jack could never forget. That behind him had once been his loving, laughter-filled family. Jack had grown weary of the senseless, endless bloodshed. Every time he wiped out his enemies, he couldn't escape the haunting memory of his family. His comrade envied Jack for having a family and promised that one day he would become Jack's brother. But then, a grenade dropped into the comrade's mouth. With a deafening explosion, only his mouth remained. Years later, the war finally came to an end. But the war had turned Jack into a jittery, fragile monster. He was no longer the man he once was, completely transformed. Yet his wife recognized him instantly. At that moment, Jack noticed another man in his home. His wife also seemed uneasy. It turned out that his former comrade had survived and had become the latest cyborg. Jack felt deeply betrayed. The two long-lost brothers hadn't seen each other in years, and upon their reunion, they immediately clashed. To prevent destroying the already shattered family, they decided to step outside and talk things through. The comrade could not understand what Jack was so upset about. Jack, feeling lost and directionless in his life, was still encouraged by his friend. The brutal body modifications and the horrors of war had slowly stripped Jack of his humanity, and now his best friend had stolen his family. The comrade reminded Jack of the promise he once made. They will always be family. There will always be a place for you in this home. I've never forgotten my promise. After hearing these words, Jack wiped away his tears with flames. Then his comrade reached out to hold his hand, but the fire hadn't been extinguished in time, and it set his comrade's body alight. Everything was destroyed. After the explosion, the world around them turned into a cloud of dust. Without hesitation, Jack ripped off his mechanical head and replaced it with a new robotic one, bearing a false, hollow smile.